In this video, we will be covering the topic of functions with user-defined functions and related topics. So let's see what we are going to cover in this portion. The first one is function. Inside functions, we have to see topic number 15.3, that is user-defined function, how it is different from built-in function. And next one is 15.3.1, function prototype. Next topic is 15.3.2, that is arguments to a function. Next one is 15.3.3, return type of a function. So this video will be covering all this topic. So before starting the video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel to get all the updates on time. So let's jump into the topic. First one is user defined topic. Let's check here. So before, we have learned what is a built-in function or predefined function, and also we have discussed what a function is. So function, it is grouping of program into a single unit. So instead of writing repeated codes again and again, if you have to do a similar work, you can put some statements inside a particular unit and name it as a function. So the function needs to be called and that will be executed in the program. Usually we are having the main function always in our C++ program. That is a starting point of execution of any program, any C++ program. So how this user defined function is different from your inbuilt function. So for inbuilt function, a name is there. We have already seen some functions like string functions, mathematical function and any function. So we don't have to write the code for the whole program or with the name of the function. We don't have to write any extra code for it. For example, if you are using toLower, you can see here this toLower function is there. If you want to use this function, you don't have to write codes for it. You just have to use the header file in your C++ program at the starting of the program, and then you have to use it in your program where you need this to be used and give the parameters that are required. So that is what happens usually for an inbuilt function. But how this user defined function is different from inbuilt is you have to write your own codes. The name itself is clear, user defined function. The user has to define what your function does in the particular program. Okay, it can be anything. For example, it can be finding the sum of two numbers. It can be subtracting any number. You can find like multiplication of any two numbers, three numbers, like that. So that is available, or it's not available, you have to write the codes for it. That is what the user defined function does. Whereas inbuilt function, which is already defined and we don't have to write any code for it. The names are there already. We have seen some examples like string length. So we know that it finds out the length of the string that is being displayed or what is there available. So this, we don't have to write the code for finding out the length of the string. So this is what a user defined function is. And then let's go through the program here. You can see usually every C++ program has a main function, and every time the execution of the program starts with main. So we have seen that, and you have to write the statements. That's very clear to you. So we can see here what is happening. In C++, the main function returns the value of type integer. So usually when you use main, integer type value is being returned to your operating system. Operating system receives the return value of your main functions type. Okay, the function that have a return value should use the return statement for termination. So let's see what does that mean. The main function is defined as void main. So if you see here, when we were writing, I think we were using integer here, int main for our program. So if you use int, you have to return a value. So we were writing return of 0. So it should return value that is 0. So if you're using void, it will work. You don't have to return anything. If you use int, it has to return something to the operating system. So return type of the function is void. It's empty. Void. It doesn't have to return anything. So that is what. And with this program, what does it do? This program just displays the welcome message. This is a program given to you, a basic C++ program of displaying computer science. You can see here header file is used. We were writing our program with int, so here they have used void main, and then nothing is being returned. But if you use integer int main, you have to return a value that we were doing we were doing throughout our C++ program journey. We were writing return of 0 throughout, but we were using here int. So, and this just displays the message what is given here. So next program, or this program just shows you how a function works, how a function is evaluated in the program, how it works. Let's see what it is. So first one is header file as usual, and you can see here something is written void message. So this is some new thing to us. Let's see what it is. Next one is void main. So if you see here, it is a main function. Usually our program has a main function, so always program's execution starts here main. If you go inside, the body of the main function says message bracket and a semicolon is given, statement is terminated. So what does that mean? So message of any, that message is meaning some kind of function that has some codes written for it. Okay, so if you see here, it's already written here void message, so indication that we are going to use a function called message. Since it uses curly bracket, it means it's a message, sorry, it's a function named as message. Next, if you go here, it's being used here. So when this message is called in the main function, the automatically the control goes to this portion, that is void message. And what does this message do? Message function do? It has to display computer science. So the computer science message should be displayed on the screen, and then the control comes back here and it will see if anything else is written. Following this, nothing is there, so program gets executed and the program's purpose is done. And this is known as declaration of your function or a function prototype. You can name this as function prototype, that we will be seeing in the next portion. So this is an information that a function is being used of data type void, which doesn't return anything. Okay, how you identify it is a function with a curly bracket, not curly bracket, that simple bracket that is being used. The above program also prints computer science, but it uses a function message. So the first program that we just saw was directly printing a message. The other one is using a function displaying the message. So you may think that why we need to use both, the second one, because it is much lengthier. So the actual thing is, if you have multiple codes, the code need not be written multiple times. Just you have to write once, and every time you need it, just call it. So if I need another one function, or another time if I need the message function, I need to call it. In addition to the functions main and message, the program has an extra line after the hash include preprocessor directive. The line is void message. That is the indication. That is known as function prototype. So we call that line as function prototype or declaration of your function. This line. Okay, this is the line that it means. So what is a function prototype? Function prototype means it is the information, or it informs the compiler about the function to be used in the program. Okay, the argument, the take, and the type of value they return. What kind of argument it takes. Sometimes if you are using a function called add, it needs two numbers, so that number a1 and a2, so that things are known as arguments. And what is the type, like if they are integer or they are float, or what kind of values they take, that also you have to inform. So function prototypes help in this thing. Functions which do not return any value are known as void functions. Some function did not return anything, so you can just write it as void function. Otherwise use the related function, int, float, or whatever it is. Next one is argument to a function. Sometimes the calling function supplies some values to the called function. These are known as parameters. So as we have discussed, like in add, you may have the values to be entered. The variables that supply the value to the calling function is known as actual parameter, and the variable that receives the value is known as formal parameter. Let's see what it means. So this is an example where area of a circle is evaluated. You can see the first line is other files that to be used. Next one is void area and something inside bracket. So this is a function that can be used here, which is of void type, like it doesn't return anything, so you are using void here. Another is main function. The execution of the program starts from here. This is prototype, function prototype. So inside main function, what is happening? Float of radius, radius variable is there of type float. Read the variable from your keyboard. So you can enter from your keyboard any radius value, and based on that radius you will get an output for area. So area radius is used here. So this is calling. This you can tell it as calling of a function. So you're calling the function area, the parameter is radius. So let's jump to this portion where you see the definition of your function. The function's definition is given here. This is known as definition of your function. This is known as calling of your function. So the function, what is the use of the function? Displaying the message the area of the circle is, and multiplying the value of the radius with 3.1416, that is your pi r square. This is pi r square of a circle. The circle's area is pi r square mathematically. So when it comes to doing computation here, you can see 3.14 value here, and into r is used here. That's why this is the method used here. We have used here the mathematical function, and the circle area of the circle is to be displayed in the area function. Next, this will evaluate and display the area of the circle with radius 6.0. So here radius is called the actual parameter, and r is known as formal parameter. Radius you call it actual parameter, and this value that you are using here, but this is known as formal parameter. R is known as formal parameter. Next one is return type of a function. What do you understand by return type of a function? Return type of the function, we can see a program and explain what it is. So this is the program that is used. So you can see is the header file, and this, what does this mean? This is declaration or prototype. And what is the name of your function? Area, and the parameter that will be passed is of float type, and the return type of your function is float. So main function, execution of the program starts. CPP program starts here executing, and here two variables are used. One is radius, another one is y. Read radius from the keyboard. Consider I'm entering 6. So area of radius, that means whatever you have inputted this one, find out the area of this value is radius, and store it in the y variable. So if you see here, this is calling of the function. So what is the definition of the function? We have to go down and see what it is. Area, float of area. Let's see what is the, what does it returns? Pi r square. So this automatically 3.14 into 6 into 6 should be the result, and this result should be returned to the calling program. So it should come here, come back here, and you can see if I say it is 36 pi, you can say it is 36 pi, value should be 36 pi. You can do mathematical calculation. I'm just telling you what happens in the program. This one is the control reaches here, and it displays the next sentence, that is cout. Area of the circle is, and value of y will be displayed, that is the area of circle is. So just work out with this program, you will find out the result. So what is the return type of the function? That is float here. So in this one, in the function prototype, void is replaced by float. This time it is float. Already we have seen what is happening in the program. Okay. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel so that you can get new notifications as soon as it is uploaded. Thank you.